What's good, everyone? You're listening to WKNC 88.1 FM, HD1 Raleigh. We're a student-run nonprofit radio station out of North Carolina. I'm Ewan, aka DJ Off Belay, and this is the alt-rap pipeline Deepcuts, where we're interviewing some of the up-and-coming talent out of the alt-rap underground. Today, I'm here with Zeke Ultra. What's up, man? How's it going?
Yo, what's up? I'm doing well. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, too. How about for maybe our listeners that aren't familiar with you, could you give yourself a little intro, maybe like what kind of music you make, how long you've been doing it?
Yeah, go by Zeke Ultra. Been making music for a while, doing everything for a while, been around for a while, but I just really make just music. I make black music, that's really the most of it. I don't really characterize most of the stuff I make anyway. It might lean towards this, lean towards that, but overall the scope with this, project of mine is to just make whatever feels right at this period of time. Whatever else happens afterwards, that's a whole nother thing. I might, I categorize as like this moment that I choose to present myself as this, the name specifically, or like just how I go about presenting myself to the world. It'll change at any time, but right now Zeke Ultra is the presentation of myself to the world, through the help of those around me. You feel me? The guidance too. But I rap though. I make rap music and underground music.
Yeah, so you would sort of say a lot of your music is about like honest expression and sort of like living life and expressing that.
Yeah, real life.
Being genuine. Yeah, I think that's a big part of like the scene that you're in, or like just underground rap in general.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to have like genuine people just making music.
Yeah. It's just a reflection of the time, right now black youth specifically are just deeply reflective. So that's what's coming out into the music. You see it in all avenues of our media. And in terms of world media too, it's not necessarily just black people. You see everybody's kind of just coming to terms with the world we live in and making like an honest take of it through our mediums.
Yeah.
And I'm no different. I just choose to highlight parts of myself that I want to highlight or like share, and knowing that it's relevant to the world right now.
Yeah, no, I get that. So would you say, like, is there a difference for what you get out of making your music and what you want other people to get out of making your music?
No. Well, to think about it in that way is really it's important for me to kind of remind myself that I'm not necessarily knowing what others can take out of what I share. It's like I just know what I put into it. I put into it the intention of the piece. I'll be like, yeah, this song right here, this is how I feel, or this is what needs to be said, or this is what needs to be done. And then I'll be like, maybe whether it's to myself or it's to the people around me or it's to, whoever, wherever, you feel me? It'll just be like, you feel me? So that's what I put in. And what others get out of it might be what I hope could be, the intent of it. Really, I just want people to sit with it and use it as whatever they feel like it's necessary for them to do with it. But it's always like a positive intention that's like overall. Even if it's negative, it's the song might sound negative, or like it might feel like what I'm going for is like a just to wallow or be dark in something. At the end of the day, that's what I'm feeling, number one. And number two, that's what I know that others are feeling.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, well, that's what I have to put in, then that's what I have to put in. To me, really though, I don't think that it's like a case of me just thinking about, I don't know. But that's I don't, at the end of the day, whatever people get out of it, is up to them, and it's it's about them at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get what you are supposed to get out of things, you know, regardless of what I want.
Yeah,
It's not about me.
that's true. That's very interesting. Like
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes as an artist you have to accept that once you
Yeah.
like make art and release it, it's not in your hands anymore.
Yeah. It's not bad. Like, really though, like, if you put it out, it doesn't matter what you think about it anymore. At the end of the day, like, I could be like, "Oh, I don't like that shit," but it doesn't matter, because if everybody loves it, then it's serving a purpose that's beyond what
Mhm.
I can think of.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
yeah, and I like how you touched on how you always put like a positive I don't remember how you said it, but you had like positive intention behind the songs, even if it's
Yeah.
like sad and wallowing. I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that's often like overlooked, that it's not a bad thing to like express yourself and like
Real
talk
talk.
about the like bad parts.
Real talk. Like, I feel like men were supposed to cry. Like, if you feel something, you're supposed to cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's politics around crying, but I
Yeah.
don't feel like, I don't feel like that's a good thing. Especially if you feel something, like, just like anything, like physics, like, you feeling like some shit going through a pipe, but then it start getting blocked off, then it's gonna build up, bust some shit up. But like, if it's like allowed to have like a free, flowing of coming and going, then that's healthy. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to cry, bro. Like, let it out. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no. I want to switch gears a little bit right now and just talk about the new album, Horn of the
But
Lamb,
yeah,
um, that you got out with Elijah Banksy. So just
yeah.
like up front, did you guys have like a specific like direction you wanted to take the album beforehand?
Nah. There was, I mean, it happened to spur of the moment. It was
Mm-hmm.
me, Argov, Elijah in the room, and we was like, we just knocked off something real quick. We did tag team off of Argov's Matchbox John. We
Mm-hmm.
did that shit real quick, and it was fun. And then Elijah looked at us and was like, "Yo, this should be the group. This should be the tape." Cause him and I already be thinking about doing stuff together anyway. So we was like, that was a perfect opportunity because it was chemistry, momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, we just knocked it out. It probably took like, I don't know, it took a few months, but we didn't really go for a sound. We just went for like a just like a moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted to put into the music what was like our feelings about the music at the time and what we gravitated to. So we knew that whatever it was gonna be was hot because it's 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads, really better than one.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, then we put it together and we're like, well, whatever this is gonna be hot. Fuck it.
Yeah. So when you're working on like collaborative tapes like this, when you said there's like 4 or 5 people in the room,
Yeah.
is there like something that's intentionally different about what you're doing, like, or is it sort of just like you gather the vibe and it's like unintentional?
Yeah.
Or do you come in with a different mindset?
Well, the mindset I come into collaboratively is a collaborative mindset. I'm like, well, it's a bunch of people in this room who have a ear of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it would make no sense unless it's sometimes you in the studio and you're like, yo, like, all right, this got to be like this. Like, trust me, this has to be like this. But other times you can't really just like allow ego to sway them. You feel me? Motion.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta just go into it. So I try to go into it with like a blank sheet, unless we all discuss something. But I like to come in blank and then just go off the feeling.
Oh yeah. I really like how a lot of the songs in this album, they have like a not necessarily that the album together has like a narrative, but it flows well together. There's a lot of like atmospheric things like added in there. It's always nice like to like have the songs in a greater context.
Yeah, to me that's how it is. Music has context. All music.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the best albums are laid out in front of you. So that's the bullseye.
Yeah, and I'm just looking over some of the notes I have for the songs in that album, and jumping out is something you said about how like right now is a big time of reflection for a lot of people. I feel like that comes up a lot in this album. Even in the first
Yeah.
track, you say
Yeah.
like mirror man in every man I see my reflection
Real
connection.
talk. Real talk. Real talk. Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
yeah, you just got a lot of I don't know how to put it, but it just feels like very welcoming, if that makes sense. It's like warm and
yeah. It kind of is supposed to just like it's like the hello, clear the air and break the tension,
mhm.
or attack the tension.
And
Mhm.
also you talk a lot in this album about
Yeah.
like sort of like the pitfalls of the music industry. Is
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
that all out of like experience, like things you've gone through, or more just like advice you've gotten and like you're trying to
Uh,
spread?
both. I mean, on every level.
Mhm.
And the industry isn't when I like kind of had to get right with English and look up certain words, like industry. Like
Mhm.
people are a part of industries that they have no idea that they're a part of. Like if you on any level participate in a certain world, you are part of that industry. So if you look at it from the perspective of that, and you see, okay, well, you see somebody, let's say somebody who's a young bull, like 13, 14, and they start rapping. And in order for them to rap, they have to go to a studio, or they have to go to somebody with a studio like setup,
Mhm.
or they have to go to this, whatever place that can service their needs. This shit is the entrance into the music industry.
Yeah.
Because the industry is built up of different parts from the top to the bottom who all run this one machine that is industry. And all can be part of one industry and not connected to each other. The industry is a line that you draw around. So when I look at it from that perspective, and I think about me being a kid and starting to get into music, and the people I got fucked over by, or the people that I was cool with and now I'm not cool with,
Mhm.
it's all just like an entry into the shit. Like, so I don't know. I look at the industry as what it is. It's a tool and it's a place where things happen and don't happen, and through the world and the tool of music, you know. And it is what it is all the time. But you have to know what you are doing, and you
Mhm.
have to let yourself move calculated more than you maybe would like to,
Mhm.
and know that every move is a move. Every step is a move. And no matter what you do and who you associate yourself with, it all plays a part
Yeah.
step by step into your career, especially if you love what you do. And
Mhm.
that's not just music. This is advice for anybody who's trying to code, anybody who's trying to do anything. Everything you've ever done is a piece of your career, and it's a step in your career.
Yeah.
So you have to move very precise.
Yeah, and I think that's even more true for people like you who's like an artist, where nowadays a lot more of the artist is like it's not just the music anymore. It's like
Real
a
talk.
whole lot more. So yeah, you really
Everything
have to be calculated in a lot more than you do.
calculated, and that's why I think about Doom a lot because of the way he chose to present himself and navigate. It
Mhm.
was an active fuck you.
Yeah.
It's hip hop though. That's like he was that's what he was doing. That's what he was saying. I don't know. I just been thinking about that recently. Like I don't know. Just think about him and his presence a lot. Shit. Wow. How he did it. Like in death, you can look and see the beginning and end of a thing, person, place.
Yeah.
You know, and you can really just examine and admire. So doing somebody who's is like taking a while, cause when somebody you don't know dies, it's like it's not a thing where you can really feel it the same. But with some people, you could feel it. And Doom was one of those people you really felt the the exit.
Mhm.
You know, like yeah.
Yeah, I feel like him particularly just it seems so like he created like characters and worlds. It's
Yeah.
like it seems like I don't know, for me at least, I didn't really fully appreciate it until like he was dead and I was like, "Oh, this is all it's ever going to be now basically." Like it put a
The
cap
world.
on it as opposed to
Yeah.
being like, "Oh, this is like he's just going to keep releasing music and it's going to keep coming out. We got time."
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah. Nah.
like death really
Nah.
puts a bookend on it.
Yeah, it's the end. That's it. But the best make you reflect in that way, right? They make you get existential.
Yeah, talk about stuff
Yeah.
like that too. I feel like on the
Mhm.
closing track of this album, Hourglass, it's like a big like
Yeah.
theme in it. It's like time running out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's crazy. I mean, just like strings. When you look and you're really creating from a place of like honesty and beyond honesty though. Like you can be lying and do this, but if it's from it's like if the shit is just free flowing, bro. Like if the shit is just free flowing and you're allowed to like get the thoughts out for real, like in real time, then like that's what'll happen. Like shit that you find yourself talking about, places you be at,
Mm-hmm.
things you do ends up just being on the shit. Like, where your head's at will end up on the records. That's really all it's about.
Yeah. Do you feel like your approach to music with how you've been saying like you really just want to capture moments?
Yeah.
Do you think that sort of shows itself in how you release your music as opposed to like nowadays a lot of artists are all about like every week got to be dropping new song every
Yeah.
week as
Yeah.
opposed to like living their lives and bringing something new.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause that's the fakeness. That's how you keep up with algorithm and
Hmm.
with timeline and things like that, which if you operate naturally that way, you're gonna have a great time. But if you don't operate that way naturally, then you're gonna find yourself upstream all the time,
Mm.
swimming.
Mm.
And I think I go through spurts. I find myself releasing a lot of music, find myself not, but it might have something to do with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sort of related as like someone like that's like you're not new in your career, you're sort of been in it for a while, making music and
Yeah.
releasing music.
Yeah.
How do you sort of measure success as an independent artist in like the streaming age now?
Well, my measurement of success it doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it stayed the same. To me, success is when I reflect and I accomplish my goals. And really, at the when it comes to this, bro, I'll be for real. I don't give a fuck about none of that like fame shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's cool to be loved. Really at the end of the day, I want to be loved by people, not because I'm learning and like what's the word, like just yearning for people's acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
but because when I feel like when I can go and I'm appreciated and I'm loved and my work make a difference day to day, or I push towards things that are meaningful. Like numbers aren't meaningful. Numbers are meaningful in the sense of measurement, right? But
Yeah.
you can that's easily like that's like a easily like way you can manipulate that shit. It's easy to
Yeah.
manipulate,
Yeah.
So I have to go by a measurement that can't be manipulated. It's static, and that's love. That's the only way that I can measure success. Cause then okay, well, I can accomplish goals short term, long term. I could say, yo, I want to be at least making 350,000 every year. By the time I'm whatever 29,
Yeah.
if I say that, which is a way I be thinking too. But I can use that and say, okay, nice. But I'm not successful because I got that. Because I could get that by selling all the way the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not even just, and in that way, like selling out is not just making music that everybody could play, listen to on the radio, but it's just doing shit that's against your morals and reality of the way you view life, the way you think it should be. You feel me?
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. I feel like there's a
So,
lot of ways to, yeah,
you
sell
know,
out but still be making like
making
music that you like.
just so successful. But for me, it's like that's not. I don't know. Like I can make pop and not sell out to me, because to me, I'll always make whatever I want. So
Yeah.
it's not about that necessarily, but it's about staying true to the things that I know I wanted to do and would have going the routes I knew I would take, whether it was the harder one or a route that everybody don't want me to take, whatever it is. Like it's just as long as I'm sticking to my guns and making sense of reality through my lens, then I'm cool.
Mhm.
And I'm staying true to the music I care about, not making decisions that are stupid. Cause I'm a spontaneous individual. I'm prone to making stupid decisions,
Mm-hmm.
but I learn from them. You know?
Are there any, like, on the topic of, like, sticking to your guns, are there
Yeah.
any moments that stick out when you think of that, like, in particular?
Yeah, a lot of moments, a lot of a lot of turning money down, a lot of you feel me, making sure everybody else is straight.
Mm-hmm.
Cause really, it's just like we talking about collaborating. This music doesn't exist without the people that are around me. You know, it doesn't exist without my relationships with the people around me. So I'm like, well, under those circumstances, bro, you have to do right by the people around you. So if it's just not right, if it's just gonna be just cool for me, I don't know, it don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, so many things, bro. There's so many instances. I could get here and just get specific, but yeah, a lot of time. I'm proud of those moments.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, I feel like especially when you're, like, in a smaller, like, stage of
Yeah.
your career or whatever, I feel like those could be even more tempting because it's like, oh, I
Oh
just
yeah.
need one little break and that, it, like,
Yeah. 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 It's somebody has to think about, like, but then I'm like, well, fuck, like, shit, it's gotta be. Remember what Master P said? I don't know, that Solange album. He's like, yo, they give me 10, I gotta be worried about 40, 50. And that's real shit. And even if you in yourself, it's not really necessarily about the numbers. It's like, yo, like, I know I could just get some shit together without everybody hand in my pockets. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. Real talk.
Where are you based?
I'm based in Delaware, Dover, Delaware.
Over Delaware.
Yeah, in the cut.
How's the
Mhm.
what's the, like, local scene there with music?
Some good heads. It's I don't think it's necessarily about the state or the city, but in the states, people making music, people making things happen for sure. Some real good musicians out here. It's people that people know probably too. If I really thought about it, but it's like some real. It's musicians. It's a few of us, and we here, and especially my team. Like we are like we're locked in and hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's good. It's a good environment. It's beautiful outside. So like it like burns that type of shit. Like it makes things like that happen and necessarily and proximity, So as a result, knowing like beautiful people in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
being out there and knowing that it's like the proximity is that special. I come fuck with the people in my state and then people over there, people in New York, It's heavy.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays there's less of a, like, emphasis on location in terms of, like, sound. There's not really, like, a whole lot of, like, oh, this
Nah.
is our sound.
Cause this shit is. I mean, Rocky bodied that shit. Like when the mob came out, that shit deaded it forever. Which is how it's supposed to be. Like I feel like that's. I mean, there's still you always go get some distinction. There's always gonna be like people doing it differently, different places. But and you got some shit going on like with the drill music and then the
Mm-hmm.
music and coming from the Bay and the music in LA and like that sound, the G funk kind of like fast shit. Same thing kind of going down in Detroit though too. It's like you
Yeah.
can draw similarities between LA and Detroit and Flint shit. But
Yeah.
like overall, yeah, the shit's dead, bro. Like we saying, it's just there's no point. I don't believe in the genres thing anymore. Like obviously we gonna naturally separate music from other music, especially by location, more so than anything,
Mm-hmm.
from my perspective. But like in terms of getting down to sound, because man, the sound thing is over with. I think we just need to get it right, like, and just blend everything together. If you ask me, we should be able to just like, and we are able to because we do it naturally. We already do it, and we already head into a point of like ambiguity, right?
Yeah.
That's
No.
the
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. That's true.
With genres and bending them in sounds, like you're already there, like.
Yeah. No.
So to me, the
Definitely.
genre thing it's kind of already died down because if you kind of put a name to what we're doing, it doesn't really make no sense. Especially what I'm doing, you can't really put it like, especially the things that I know I got on me. Like, there's no way to put a name to certain things. But things, it's not because it's so new; it's been done before. But the way it's being done now is different.
Yeah. No,
You know?
definitely. I think hip hop, like specifically, is like responsible for a lot of genre bending, just with like how
Yeah.
it uses samples and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. You create them out of nowhere and then abandon it. Create a new genre, abandon it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Quickly. Imagine like past 5 years and shit.
Yeah. I mean, even just the last like 2 years,
Two
been running
years.
through stuff.
It's the way it's
Um,
supposed to be.
would you say you have like any big influences in your music?
Yeah. Fela Kuti, Earl,
Mm-hmm.
um, Jay, um, 50, um, Bob Marley, Lee Scratch, um, um, D'Angelo, Dilla, Madlib,
Yeah.
um, dude, there's so many people. But those, like, I guess, really though, it's just a bunch of names that I felt like to me were the best in their class. So I was like, well, I gotta study these niggas then. Dr. Dre,
Yeah, it's not all about like getting influence necessarily like in terms of sound, but also just execution.
yeah, execution. That's why I love Lee Scratch Perry. Like I was like, it's somebody who just did so much with so little, and then it stood the test of time over
Mm-hmm.
like state of the art shit. Like that shit is so crazy. Um, who else, bro? Yeah. But really though, if I'm talking about execution for real, Doom, obviously, let's talk about Doom. But it's like Biggie. Biggie's really big influence. Biggie's like my first favorite rapper. Like Pac. I mean, as a kid, but like at the end of the day, that shit really mean a lot. Cause then I still listen to Biggie. Like this nigga's like the best. But then like who else? Shit, it's just like heads, bro. Like honestly, like Cities of Eve.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Their new project is really good.
yeah, bro. I always like. I'm just like impressed. Um, yeah, just like really, that's really like people with Solange.
Mm.
Um, yeah, like early Wiki Rat King shit too though. Like the first Wiki 93p, like before like XL, they really like helped me looking at in a new way about rapping.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, for sure. That shit was sick. And these are like people now that I can say because 10 years ago is when they really came out and like was popping. And I was a kid back then. So that was the shit that I was like, yo, as I'm beginning to rap, I'm like looking to Vince Staples. It was really early in my development. Like RZA, Timbaland. There's a lot of heads. Like,
Oh yeah,
I have to really think,
definitely. And on that same sort of note, are there any like dream collaborations you would have?
Dream collaborations.
Like maybe not necessarily like from the class that you're talking about, like older, but maybe like people like what's the word like people of, like in the
like
scene with you.
contemporaries.
Yeah, contemporaries. Yeah.
Liv
Live.
would be my dream collaboration. I think she's the best. Like I feel like she's just like incredible.
I think your sounds would mix really well. Yeah.
Yo, I agree, and I think there's places that I could take it as well that are really special. And there's not much like I have my boy and I Free have been really pushing away on a project that we really like took lots of inspiration from like High Life and dancehall and Angolan music and funk and soul music, and it's like really it's something we've been working towards. Yeah, and so Live will be crazy. Live will be crazy.
I would. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely have that on repeat.
Yeah, bro. Me too, man. Yeah, Live. Yeah, that's the one.
Do you like do you bump your own stuff? You listening to Zeke Ultra around the house?
Sometimes. I think it goes. It depends. Like usually, I just get obsessed with music that I know I love at the moment. Like and but other than that, like I'm really not. Like it's really spurts where I'm only listening to myself and my friends, or I'm not tapped in on my own stuff. And it's usually when I hit a wall, or I'm like really working towards one particular thing, or I'm like taking I'm just not in the feeling. I'm not in the spirit. But most of the time, it's like a mix in between. But I be slapping my shit. Hell yeah.
I was always wondering, like, I feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's got to take like the sense of hearing your own voice and hating it, but like to the max. But
yeah, no. But sometimes I love it. Sometimes I'm like, Sometimes I only I could do the things I need to hear.
mm,
You know, and that's when I'm really I'm in tune.
yeah, I mean, I feel like when you said that, like, you're doing things that only you could like get how you want them. Um, I feel like this project that came out of, I mean, not even this one in particular, but you do show like a bit of a range on a lot of your stuff.
Bless it. Yeah,
Like, you
thanks.
got you singing on "Looking for Peace." On
Yeah,
this
yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I just heard it already. I knew it. That was what I needed to do on that. Was the touch. Yeah. Let's sing more.
Um, Again on "Horn of the Lamb," um, who all was like part of the process of making this besides just you and Elijah?
Oh, it's my boy Yankee mixed the whole thing. That's it. Argov produced the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the team. And my boy Free on Rooted as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. I have a note here, like who is singing on this?
That's my man's. My man's. He live in Delaware. He's out here in Dover with me. He's a
Nice.
singer from Liberia. He's
Hell yeah.
that guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we.
All right. Sweet.
I feel like we good.
Yeah, I know you said something about like you don't necessarily want to like put like numbers in terms of like success or like where you want to go. But do you have like a little bit of a roadmap of like what you want to be doing in the next like year or next few months?
Oh, next year, next few months.
Like, just is there a roadmap of like where you want to be or what you got going on?
Yeah, I wanna in the next year there's gonna be a lot of music out. That's I wanna be in a place where I've basically put all that music out and have moved on to ideas. I wanna start my clothing line. And have pieces out by then too, and kind of get more into video production as well, like slightly. I've just been having fun with some videos lately, and I want to kind of start doing that more and more, and do more videos for other people. Have that be a way of like expressing myself too, because yeah, but that's what it. But like in terms of being like that, that's just like getting that music out and just keeping on an onward positive path. But then also like I really want to be one of the best. Like I want to be one of the best musicians. I like not because I want to be better than anybody else necessarily, but I just want to be the best at doing what I do. And I feel like I feel like I could do that at a high level. So that's what I'm gonna do. I want to be at like a high creative level and be able to bring really beautiful things to like existence.
Yeah.
I'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah, looking back on like some of the stuff you have released, do you get a sense of that?
Yeah. I feel like I've done things that can be around for a while. But I do look back and I'm like, fuck. But a lot of time I was younger, But even then, sometimes I'll look at them same Johns and be like, yeah, that was nice, So I feel good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what I think, though, again. But I feel that way. I feel good about it.
let's talk a little bit about live performances.
Yeah,
You yeah, what's like your past with live performances?
I play a lot of shows.
A lot of
I
shows.
yeah, I play shows. I mean, first show I ever played, I was 15.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was at this theater in Napa. I used to live in Idaho. In this place called Napa. It's a city called Napa, and it was like my boy Strawberry, my nigga Jazz. Were on stage with me. Jazz didn't even really rap. He was just on stage, and he always was just like hype man. And like I was just always like, yeah, bro. So you might have to get back to that, but that's it was us three. That was the first show. The show was like, it's cool. It's like some like little shit. But for since then, I stopped playing shows. Then I played another show 2014. Then I went away forever. That was like early like double S days,
Mm.
And I was like, just we were just like just being young. I didn't even really understand what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie. As I look back with like a more fucking developed brain, I could look and say, damn, like I was beginning my career, bro. That's what I was saying. Like if you're making anything, you're doing anything, you're at the beginning of your career,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So I just didn't really think of it that way. I was always like, whatever's whatever. You can still hear me? Oh, shit, I'm back though. where we leave off? I forgot.
Um, we're talking about live shows. You were saying that like you were starting your career back then, if you liked it or not.
Yeah. And I didn't really understand that I was doing it, but yeah, I love live shows. I think live shows are really important. I like, I like to, express myself that way too.
Yeah. So with your live shows recently, they all mainly been in Delaware,
Yeah, Philly.
Philly. Or
Yeah, Delaware. I'm gonna start throwing shows out here, but really getting started was always in Philly.
Hmm. And like, do you have a sort of like pre-show ritual yet? You got down to that?
Pre-show? Nah, probably. Let me think. I'm sure I do the same shit every night. I don't know. I think I usually take a shit. That's crazy. You could print that. I'd definitely be. My phone just died. My fucking phone just died. I hate this shit. Oh my.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't have too many questions left. Anyway, we can. Yeah. Um, yeah. So live performances. What's like, what's like the crowd normally like at your shows?
The crowd at my shows?
Yeah.
It'd be cool. It'd be the crowd. I feel like people um want to pay attention. I'm back. People want to pay attention. They want to look at me. It's nice. I think it's a diverse group of people too. Be black people, be beautiful people, you know, be everybody. Shows are nice. The crowds, I want people to get really engaged. I just want people to just feel the shit.
Hmm.
The sound's good, setup is nice. We good, we straight.
Yeah. No, there's definitely like just something to live shows that you just can't get like if you're not there.
Nah, it's not the same. And I always try to make sure that my live shows are the live show. You'll hear a song you'll never hear outside. You may hear a song played a certain way you'll never hear it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's like a that's like a thing. It's like a thing for sure. Hold on, let me show this is recording as well. All right. Yeah, hold on. Ask me that one again because I feel like it was a recording and we back now. Yeah, like live shows, people could be a part of it and enjoy it.
Yeah. So with like I just blanking on what I said. Um, yeah, live shows. There's just like something you can't get. Like live shows is just different. there's just a vibe that you get from being there that you can't really transfer. Like you just got to be there to feel it.
Yeah, and like, you hear songs in a way you never heard it before, or you hear, songs you never heard before. It's like special. I try to create special moments with the people in the live
Mhm.
setting.
Do you incorporate any like live instruments?
Ah, yeah, this show's about to happen. So by the time people hear this, it's gonna be over with. But I'm trying to set up with a keyboard player now, at the live show, and I think that's gonna be crazy.
And that show that you're talking about, it's in Philly. I mean, you said it'll probably be over by time, but when is it?
Yeah, it's about to be. It happens. What? It's happening. Uh, what? On Friday, Black Friday.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's happening Black Friday. So by then it'll be a dub. By the time people hear this, it'll be a dub. But yeah, the uh the keyboard player. I don't know. I could always, I don't know. Yeah, I'm every time, like when it's time to go on tour, it's gonna be crazy because then it'll be really the project to assemble the
Hmm.
best supporting, you know, piece, or the best supporting pieces for the whole thing, and that would be fun. But right now, I want to explore being light with a keyboard player and my DJ,
Hmm.
and and keep the music, you know, as a nice blend of that. Because then the ability to improv with the keyboard player. I also one day would love to start playing percussion on stage. That's another thing. I'll probably start playing more percussion just because why not? Like I like playing the
Yeah,
drums and the
live
guitar.
percussion and live drums are always just
Yeah.
so nice, especially at rap shows, because it's like I feel like not many people are doing that, and when someone does do it and they do it right, it's
It's fun as
nice.
fuck. Yeah. It become like some beautiful shit.
And I think the sort of music you're making lends itself really well to like live instruments. It's like very
Mm.
jazzy and super
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
flowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it allows for I feel like it allows for a lot of like you said like off the cuff stuff like freestyling on like
Big
the
time.
instruments too.
Big time. Big time. That shit shit. That shit sick.
Um do you have any sort of like favorite non-musician artists?
Oh yeah. Let me think. I have to really think back. Oh yeah, like writers are like I'm really interested in, like I like James Baldwin a whole lot.
Mhm.
And I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I read any of the books because I haven't. But it's just really like looking at him and the way he moved through the world, and he kind of gave like some of like his one liners like when he would speak, and uh it would just mean like shit. Like he was like, well, the first time he went abroad and felt like a man was when he went to Europe. Like felt like a human being, like,
Mm.
and it really just to me restated the real importance of traveling and shit, like, and
Yeah.
like just to see what life is like as you in another place. Like that's a really crazy way to put that shit. Not human musicians. Basquiat. I know everybody talks about Basquiat, but really Basquiat was that he was that dude.
Yeah, for
He was
sure.
really that dude. Um, um, Virgil Abloh. These are
Mm.
people that we look up to as heroes now. It's not a
Mhm.
joke or or a cliche. I mean, it's reality. Like these people play a whole part in how we understand expression, bro. It's like that's some crazy shit. Mike Tyson, like
Mm.
he's an artist in how he fucking punched the shit out of somebody. Like that is artistic shit. But
No, yeah.
even the way he views this shit and the way he presented himself, all of that, like Mike Tyson, um, 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 yeah, really though, like it's music that has really taken the forefront of my brain. But like
Yeah.
certain people like that, yeah, like Virgil, dude, like he was so sick.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier about wanting to like in a year's time have like started the clothing brand. With that, is it sort of gonna be like Zeke Ultra merchandise, or is it gonna be like something separate from that?
Yeah, separate.
Okay.
It'll be a whole nother separate expression. But there will be Z Culture merch too though.
Okay.
But
Nice.
yeah, nah. It'll be alongside, it'll be a whole nother like separate thing and venture, but I don't wanna just jump into it. But I've already jumped into it. But it's not something where I wanna sit and look and just like not do the homework or the research, you feel me?
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like that's one thing like that it can be done well and it can be done like the sellout way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I just want to see. I just just want to do it. I want to make things happen. So that's all. Like from beginning to end, creating something and then evaluating it later. Like I'll do all that other shit later. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I should have did this. Should have did that. I'll do that later. Like I'll do that anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Um what are you doing when you're not making music? Like what else has your attention?
Probably sleeping. I probably reading. Recently, I've been reading, bro.
Mhm.
So I probably reading, and I've been reading throughout my life. Obviously, I'm not somebody who, feel me, but like recently, I probably be reading, eating. I've been cooking. I try now to cook 3 times a day. You feel me? Yeah, I've been trying to cook 3 times a week, like at least 3 times a week. I really like tap in and make some. Um, and I'm getting to a place where I really am. My boy Free was like, "Yo, you gotta like understand how you gotta understand how uh flavors come together and how to make flavors blend and become one
Mm.
and like allow that shit to really just fucking permeate the whole dish, whatever is on the pan." And I was like, damn, that's really, cause that's really the key to it, is like letting things fucking bubble and become like a fucking
Letting
together
them
thing.
get flavor, yeah.
Yeah, bro. So I'm like, well, I'm getting closer to that and understanding like how the part that heat plays into it and how much heat to put into. But I don't know, bro. I'm a late bloomer, bro. It's just what it is, bro. I wish I would have jumped into things, but since I've been young, I like jump into things very like precisely. I just like kind of eye it out. I might eye it out for like 5 years, and then I jump into it. I might just completely forget about it and then remember it and then jump into it. It's like a weird, stupid mix. Stupid as in like kind of just like, um, it just like feels like I'll split up calculation and fucking impulse into like a weird thing. I just like, all right, it's really
Hmm.
weird. That's how
Yeah,
I
it's
get
like
into
for some
shit.
things you're super calculated, other things like
Yeah,
just impulse.
yeah, other things, and then it's like one answer, have one small question that holds up the whole process. I'm like, damn, but what happens if I don't? And then that answer got answered real quick, and then I'm in that shit. Like, that's kind of how I think about shit. I wish I don't really, I think everybody should just study themselves.
Mm.
Everybody need to learn themselves, study themselves, and then you figure out answers, bro. That's really all it is. You figure out your process.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of that comes through with the music you make. It is very like introspective and very honest.
Mm. Yeah. Try to
And
be.
like that allows for other people to connect with it without necessarily like, having to relate to it.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. Because they'll find something to relate to somehow.
Yeah, if someone hasn't heard your music before and they're listening,
Yeah.
what's like 3 songs by you that you would say are like essential Zeke
3
Ultra?
songs essential. Uh, I would probably, I don't know. I would tell them before I name the 3. I would say to me, my 3 most essential are Bound by String, um, that are out right now. Songs that I'd be like, yeah, go check this out. Bound by String, For the Fall, and Braves had. Because I feel like you probably get a good idea of some shit. Plus, that's where I feel like I'm spitting. And I'm like, those are the songs I'm like, yeah, these right now, I'm really fucking with this. Like, this is it right here. But I don't know, bro. I feel like it depends on the type of music that you like. I would ask them first off, like, what, you know, I don't know, like, what you be on. Because at any point in time, it could go left or right, you know. So I'd just be like, what kind of shit you be on? But
Sure,
really,
yeah, I mean,
you know.
yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, everyone's gonna have a different favorite track.
Yeah, exactly. But Bound by String, I would just say one. I would just be like, yo, Bound by String. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of reaching the end of all the notes I have here. Is there
Amen.
anything we haven't talked about you want to mention?
Anything. I mean, you know, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of things happening in the world. I would tell people, yo, look up, like, be hyper aware. It's time. This time is now for hyper awareness. Nothing is just light anymore. Things are light. It's light to get up and do it. Not always, but it's light to have the will. You just gotta make up your mind. But really, I would say look up. Think about the world. Think about yourself, and then move forward. Cause these are the times in which people, you know, are going to be like, to me, this is like the time to be a new race. Like, the time has come where people have to overextend and like shoot past everything that we thought we were supposed to be, you know, collectively. Like, what we were told life is supposed to be like. Like, this time, that it has to go. And we have to get with each other and love each other and love ourselves and fight what's wrong and fight for what's right, you know, and be, you know, and then look at each other and say, yo, what do we want the world to look like, and create that together. You know, that's what I was.
Now is not a time to be complacent.
Nah, it's not time to be complacent, and not a time for lying to yourself. You know, like, this is a different world. We're never gonna see a world like, I don't know. Like, it's just time. The time is to, like you say, not be complacent, but also to be fucking vigilant in what we deserve collectively. The world deserves. Everybody deserves to feel love. Everybody deserves a place to live. You know, and everybody should have the right to live. Everybody should have the right to live. That's it. You know?
That's great. No, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of like what we need to do first is like really be honest with ourselves, like you said. Like, a lot of that stuff comes, like, the first step is like being honest with yourself and like finding yourself.
Yeah. Find yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Everybody know who you are. You know who you are. You just know. You just forget. You grow up and you forget. That's all.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on to the Altrap Pipeline.
Yeah,
Love
bro.
having you on, Zeke.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me, man.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Once again, this is 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. If you enjoyed anything we talked about, tune in. Yeah, once again, Alt Rap Pipeline, Deep Cuts.